Sgt Nkosi is the longest sitting witness at the Madlanga Commission. I'm going to focus on the names that were dropped from the time that he was witness F to the time that his English data bundles got finished. Aphelile isilungu ay sasimehlula shem. Let's break down all these names that are in Sgt Nkosi's charts because we are going to need them when the big five is finally revealed. Starting with the core network is Jotham Sibi Omswazi the late. He is the anchor figure around whom much of the ecosystem turns. He's at the top of the big five. The taxi violence allegations, the family complaints, Mthakati's involvement, Sibanyoni's conflict, and many of Nkosi's civilian relationships all radiate outward from Sibi's network. Even after his death, he continues to structure the evidence because disputes about who was targeting the family taxes, who was aligned with whom, and who remained loyal or hostile are all framed in relation to him. Then we have Steve Mutsumi. He is one of the main civilian hubs in Nkosi's outside network. He is important not just because Nkosi knew him, but because other people, especially Mampane, were repeatedly moving in and out of his space. Mampane is a frequent visitor to Mutsumi and shows Nkosi forwarding him gate passes, access codes from Mutsumi, then meeting him there. What makes Mutsumi's environment more like a recurring social contact and coordination space rather than a random civilian acquaintance? Then we have Joe Sibanyoni. He is a very important person in the network. Nkosi's evidence shows that Sibanyoni was the subject of family allegations after Msibi's death. That General Mkwananzi wanted a meeting arranged with him, and that Nkosi actually helped arrange that meeting. Nkosi first downplayed this contact with Sibanyoni, suggesting only 1 or 2 meetings, but the records later forced him to accept that he had been there more than 12 times in the private home. That makes Sibanyoni not a distant subject figure, but someone with thin, sustained private contact with Nkosi. Then we have Mpelo Evan Mthakati. Guys, I cannot find a picture of this guy anywhere on the web. So if you have it, please drop it in the comments below. I really want to see what he looks like. But anyway, asikwalapo. Mthakati is one of the most important civilian family bridge figures. Nkosi describes him as a friend and business associate of Msibi, active in the taxi and security industries, and close enough that Nkosi regarded him as an uncle figure through the Msibi network. He is essential because he feeds information into Nkosi, including material linked to the SWAT murder context, and because he is also sits near the lifestyle business side of the network, including the motorbikes. What I've just described is a complete enterprise that requires a racketeering certificate, but asikho lapho namhla. Then we have Siyabulela Sibande. Nkosi calls him Galito. I don't have a picture of him, and again, if you have a picture of this guy, can you drop it in the comments? Sibande is MCB side associate who sits close to both the business and social layers of the network. He is described as linked to Msibi's company side, is associated with bike funding story, receives media and meta context material from Nkosi concerning Matlala and the Mintaka Team CB world. He matters because he looks like someone who is not just socially adjacent, but also positioned near money, lifestyle, assets, and information flow. I'm also looking for a picture of this guy, Mampane. This is not his actual picture. So if anybody has it, can you drop it in the comments? Mampane is one of the most significant civilian overlap channel. He is frequent associate of Mutsumi, receives inside tender material from Nkosi, and is also shown as the source of the 12,500 rands payment to Nkosi on May 3, 2024. The WhatsApp chats suggest that he had an interest in the ad hoc security tender and may have had a company identity tied to the initials NVP. That makes him especially important is that he sits across social, financial, and procurement streams all at once. Then we have Mandla Caba, who appears just a little bit, but is also relevant. Sibanyoni shared with Nkosi a screenshot of a condolence exchange between Sibanyoni and this Mandla Caba after Msibi's death. That makes Caba useful as a relational witness channel in understanding how Sibanyoni wanted to be seen after Msibi's death and how he used Nkosi as part of that communication channel. I don't have a picture of this Mandla Caba, so again, please help me out. Can you drop it in the comments if you know? And then we have Zingumalu, who appears as an outside intermediary who feeds contacts, requests, and profiling material into Nkosi's channel. He matters because he looks like one of the people using Nkosi as a way of moving things from civilians to political side into police adjacent communication routes. Well, it looks like he may be running a legitimate business, but he is associated with shady characters. So I don't know how he's going to shake himself out of it. Then we have Natasha Piri. She sits in the media awareness layer of the network. She was mentioned briefly because she's being used by Nkosi to manufacture our consent. The reason she comes up in the WhatsApp chats is not necessarily her misconduct, but that press questions and media interests were being circulated inside police-linked chats instead of being treated as ordinary external reporting. That makes her relevant to the narrative management, internal awareness side of the network. We still don't know if Nkosi paid him or not. The senior counsel needs to conclude that little bit of information. Yes, Chomi is in the chats, not as an implicated person, but as a victim of unlawful arrest. Chomi appears as the subject of tracing and profiling activity. Shame. Chomi is being made an example of the way civilian and political interests could be fed into police-linked channels. And it's unfortunate. She's just a victim of... But I miss him. I don't know what happened to his YouTube channel. I used to follow it personally. I used to like the gossip. That completes Tier 1, the Strategic Command. Oops, I almost forgot about this too. Katie Molefe and Ket Matlala, they are also part of the core network, and they have a lot of communication and chats between them and Nkosi about all kinds of things. In the taxi violence task team, we have Brigadier Ramangwa and Colonel Bayata. These people are not implicated, but they do matter because they are a benchmark. Their presence shows that there was an official investigative pathway into taxi violence, which makes Nkosi's private parallel dealings with civilians and taxi owners and suspects look more irregular. That means when sensitive case material or mediation in the taxi environment flows from Nkosi instead of through them, the formal channels, the contrast becomes sharper. And then we have Warrant Officer Zungu. I don't have pictures of all these people. Warrant Officer Zungu is critical because he appears as a ground level police relay point in circumstances where he is not the actual investigating officer. An example is Zungu's name comes in during the arrest of Den Mabusela, this guy here, Den Mabusela, is being checked into the SWAT meta context. He was actually at the crime scene, contaminating the crime scene, sending information to Nkosi and Mtagati. So there was a relay of information about Den Mabusela from Warrant Officer Zungu, who was at the crime scene when he was not supposed to be there. This name is problematic. Major General Khan. He remains more contextual than concrete on the charts, but he belongs in the broader SAPS layer. Anything that goes wrong, somehow, General Khan and Sibia keep coming up. So I don't know, even it looks like he's becoming a headache for the ad hoc committee as well. So I don't know. I'll just leave it here. You know what? Because Nkosi is the message corridor, racketeering certificates are going to be flowing from the NPA. I'll leave it there. This brings us to another victim that appears in the charts. Amand Swat is central to the Denny Mabusela identification chain, where information from Tagati to Nkosi to Warrant Officer Zungu raising questions about an informal information handling during a live murder investigation. So while the crime scene was active, these three people were actually talking about Mabusela, and Mtagati confirmed that he is one of the people that work for him. In the message corridor, there's two other SAPS officers' names that keep appearing. Sergeant Moraka appears in the Mutsumi access environment alongside with Nkosi. And then we have Sergeant Mpela is another secondary operational presence in the same environment like Moraka. He helps show that Nkosi's social civilian world and police world were not neatly separated. I still have plenty more names to drop. So first person in the bridge corridor actors is Diego Floyd Mabusela, commonly known as Denny Mabusela. This name matters because His identity is the one being urgently confirmed in the SWAT murder context. In the WhatsApp chats, it shows Mthakathi feeding Nkosi information about Danny, and Nkosi then moving that information to Warrant Officer Zungu for confirmation. Nkosi says he did not previously know him. Guys, is Danny Mabusela the one with the mask, or is the other guy? Because I don't know which one between the two of them is Danny Mabusela. And then inside the corridor actors, we also have Mandla Gcina. His name matters because he appears as a repeated caller to the CFO of Tshwane during the tender story. In my previous recording, I did drop one about the tender story. His role is consistent. He is a signal of pressure coordination around the Tshwane procurement side. Let's just put a sticky note on this name. We are going to need it later. Then we have Major General Shibiri. He is one of the corridor actors moving information from Nkosi to Sibiya, a circle around there. So I've talked a lot about this guy on my previous recording, so I'm just going to leave it there for now. People of Tshwane, come closer. Your Deputy Chief, Umashi Dlamini, is a key municipal node. He is the General Dlamini in the charts, and the evidence shows him feeding company list, routing complaint-related access requests, and sending payment-linked messages into the Nkosi chain or corridor. He looks like the command side entry point where official Metro Police Authority and informal procurement influence intercept. He is very corrupt, rotten to the core. Then we move on to Gareth Mnisi, the CFO of the city of Tshwane. He is also the most important finance side gatekeeper in the tender material. He is treated as the person through whom things must pass. In the general's own words, the only gateway. His importance is that bidder list, complaint routing, and outcome-related pressure all seem to converge around his office and or authority. He is not a background administrator. He is a key checkpoint in the system, in the tender system right here. And then we have Victor Apewa. He matters because he is linked to the notion of a mandate over a bidder allocation. That language alone places him inside the alleged outcome control side of the procurement chain, not just its paperwork. I don't have a picture of this guy, but there's something more about him. Yes, CIC Juju is in the charts, but he is not a fully identified person on the record. But it matters because it is the label attached to a supposed political source of preferred company list. Its significance is structural. It brings possible party political layer into the tender story. The reason EFF name keeps coming up is because there is conflict between the CFO, who is an EFF member, and this guy called Lukulele, who is an ANC member. It looks like from both sides or one side, they are actually controlling Julius Malema. He's being controlled here in this tender process. I don't know. I'm sure he's aware of it. And I cannot wait for him to put the record straight on this nonsense. Moving on, then there is a Kane Pofu. The senior council identified Kane Pofu as the divisional head of the procurement process of Tshwane. Though Nkosi says he does not know him, Kane matters because he appears both in meeting routing messages and in the increased target value payment style message. So he is somehow in the charts, but Nkosi says he doesn't know him, but he is in his WhatsApp messages. Do you guys believe him? That puts him close to both the procurement, gatekeeping, and release adjustment story. There's a story around that I just couldn't get. Then we have Paul Lekokela. In the charts, he is known as Lukaniko. He is one of the more layered figures in the municipal side of the story. He is confirmed as a former Tshwane senior admin who later moved to Rustenburg. And Nkosi says he once tried to broker peace between him and the CFO Mnisi. So this is where the EFF ANC conflict comes in here. He is also confirmed as a friend to DJ Somebody, which matters because Nkosi's message to him after DJ was murdered was, why didn't you call him to order? The senior council and the commissioners were very much interested in this message. It implies that Lekokela was thought to have enough proximity or influence to restrain DJ Somebody. That places this guy, Lukaniko, at the junction of municipal administration, political subtext, and street-level violence context. That leads us to victim number 3. DJ Somebody is not central as an operator inside the tender story, but he becomes important because his murder is used to probe Lekokela's proximity and possible influence. He matters mainly as the figure around whom Lekokela exchanges messages with Nkosi that become revealing. I think the commissioners are suspecting something about this Lukaniko guy. There's something there, but hey, I'll put it in the parking lot for now. And then we have Kolofelo Vivian Morodi, who is the MMC of Tshwane. Morodi is important because she shows that the network is not just police plus civilians. She is a municipal executive figure who appears in Nkosi's chats world through a job application follow-ups and the birthday message exchange. Her significance is that she seems comfortable using Nkosi as an informal route to follow up on matters that touch the metropolis or municipal systems of Tshwane. That makes her part of the political oversight layer using informal channels. That is why she has been suspended. There is so many other names that were dropped. There is a Vusi, whose last name we do not know. And then there's a Tommy, we don't know his last name. He sent some payments. Then there's Guppies or Guppy Security, name that was dropped. Then there's another Nico that remains unresolved, but the records gives him a practical role in the tender process. And then there's a Modise, a name that was dropped. His name matters because he's one of the few bidders side names explicitly linked to a company name called Triotic. In the ad hoc security tender bid, he is useful as a concrete anchor inside the otherwise huge bidder universe. Nkosi's charts is also dominated with the murder of AK, Forbes, and Tibbs. So, and even the footage of the crime scene was played at the commission, and then it came out that Tibbs, whose name is Tebelo Motswane, is linked to the Mtagatim Sibi proximity network. So this also creates a rivalry between this mafia group and the other mafia group that we do not say by name, that is based in KZN. So if I missed any names, please can you drop them in the comments below and we can talk about them in my next recording.